My blissful selves. Today, let us know in brief about the intoxicants and their effects. So, these intoxicants, we think that they are givers of happiness. So, these intoxicants are narcotics, narcotics, and what exactly happens there is the nerves by taking these intoxicants, the nerves becomes weak, and even the organs of the body become weak. And enjoying the narcotics results in the diseases of the body. By enjoying the narcotics, the intellect is spoiled, and man becomes mad. So, taking the intoxicants destroys the physical body. Not only it destroys the physical body, but it destroys the physical and mental health. The habits of these intoxicants increase and strengthen. When we will be in a position to enjoy these intoxicants, we will be thinking that they are the givers of bliss. So, as we go on enjoying these intoxicants, the desire to enjoy these intoxicants increases, and the habit of these intoxicants strengthens. Later, it will become very difficult to give them up. But if we think about the deep sleep, so if the body is diseased, and if we go into deep sleep, so the disease of the body will be cured. And if the man has become mad, if he goes to sleep, so his madness is cured, and the day's weariness and tiresomeness is cured. So the peace that has been enjoyed by deep sleep is momentary. Even the peace that has been enjoyed by taking the intoxicants is also momentary, temporary. But the deep sleep is healthy. It makes the body healthy. It cures the madness. And even the weariness is removed. So, in this way, the deep sleep is healthy, and enjoying the intoxicants is unhealthy. And by enjoying the intoxicants, man may lose his body itself. So, though the intoxicants seem to give us happiness, but there is every possibility of one becoming mad in sticking to these habits. So, the deep sleep removes the day's weariness and tiresomeness naturally. But the intoxicants become obstacles even to sleep. When we don't get to sleep, and if we take the sleeping tablets, so we will have sound sleep. But if we continue to take the sleeping tablets, so the sleeping tablets are poisonous to the body. Later, we will have no sleep at all, and man becomes mad. The intoxicants don't give us natural peace, just like deep sleep. So, those who become slaves to intoxicants, without intoxicants, they cannot live. And if that is the case, they lose the power of reasoning. They lose the power of what is happiness and what is not happiness, and is what is consciousness and what is not consciousness, like that. So he loses the power of reasoning. So in enjoying the intoxicants, the money is wasted. We lose our money, and not our money is wasted, but the body is diseased. And when we begin to enjoy the intoxicants, the morality is lost. And lastly, the misery is obtained. So, by taking the intoxicants, the body will be suffering by gangrene and other diseases. By gangrene disease, the muscles of the body would be destroyed, and only the skeleton remains behind. So, for example, by taking alcohol, the liver is spoiled and it stops its function of transforming the food into blood. Then the food becomes rotten and it becomes poison to the body. Then the blood will not be supplied to different parts of the body. And the man, uh, the so called liver, will be gradually reduced and man loses his body. Though it appears that the intoxicants give rest to us, but they cause disease to the body. But the diseases are cured naturally by peace. By taking intoxicants, man becomes mad. But by deep sleep, the madness is cured naturally. By drinking whiskey, brandy, and gin, and many other intoxicants, these cause thousands of murders and sins. Where there is drinking of intoxicants, there are more number of sins. Therefore, the drinking of intoxicants has to be prohibited. The alcohol is most dangerous and destroying medicine. So the alcohol is internationally banned. Once if we learn the habit of drinking these or taking these intoxicants, it is very difficult to give them up. The doctors prescribe to take the alcohol in very little quantity. When it is when it is inevitable, then only we have to take the alcohol in very little quantity. If we take the alcohol in maximum quantity, it becomes poisonous to the body. Then the mental peace is destroyed and it results into vomiting. During walking, the body is imbalanced and the fingers tremble. The person doesn't talk clearly. When one is completely drunken, he doesn't know what he is doing and he becomes angry. So, man desires permanent happiness and he tries to become permanently happy. He tries to enjoy the sensory objects, but the enjoyment of sensory objects leads to bodily diseases and he will become very crazy about the sensory objects. Then he will be in a position to lose the reasoning of what is happiness and what is unhappiness, what is consciousness and what is no consciousness, like that. And he becomes mad. So, in this way, by enjoying the sensory objects or by enjoying the intoxicants, the body will be diseased, the intellect will be spoiled, and the man concerned becomes mad. So, if at all man has to enjoy the permanent happiness, if he has to enjoy the temporary happiness, he has to undergo or he has to go to sleep. If you want to enjoy temporary happiness, you have to go to sleep. So the sleep is healthy. It cures the bodily diseases. It removes madness. If the man becomes mad and if he goes to sleep, he becomes all right. His madness is cured. So, if at all we have to enjoy temporary happiness, we have to go to sleep. And if we have to become unhappy, we can enjoy the sensory objects and we can enjoy the intoxicants. But if we have to enjoy the permanent happiness, so we have to attain a jnana samadhi, wherein we will come to know that the enjoyment of sensory objects leads to diseases. The indulgence of sensory objects leads to diseases. And the craziness would be increased. And man becomes mad. And lastly, he loses his life. And if at all we have to enjoy the permanent happiness, we have to reason out whether there is happiness in sensory objects or not. We have to reason whether there is happiness in enjoy the intoxicants or not. And if we reason out whether there is happiness or no happiness, will come to know that there is no happiness in sensory objects. The enjoyment of sensory objects leads to tiresomeness and weariness, but not truly happiness. In the same way, the enjoyment of intoxicants leads into disease of the body. The physical body will be in a position to be destroyed. The physical and mental health will be destroyed. And if man requires to be temporarily happy, he has to go to sleep. And if he wants to enjoy permanent happiness, he has to attain a jnana samadhi. And if at all he has to attain a jnana samadhi, he has to have dispassion for sensory objects, dispassion of intoxicants. And he has to know that even the body gives us unhappy. When there is body consciousness, there is hunger, there is thirst, cold, bright sunlight, sultry, insult, disease, old age, increase of desires, and the fear of death. So, like that, we will not be happy by enjoying the sensory objects and having a body consciousness. So, we can be permanently happy if we attain a dispassion for sensory objects, dispassion of intoxicants, and transcending the body consciousness. We are not at all this physical body, but we are the knowers of this body. So when we overcome the passion of sensory objects, the passion of intoxicants, and the body consciousness, so we are the knower of the body. We are knower of everything. And we are the knowing entity. We are the Atman. We are the self. And by attaining self knowledge, we can become permanently happy. And by this, I end my talk.